Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 784, written by Smallchildrenirkme. I skipped an entire day. This first happened to me in the mid-2010s and happened again this week. This week I had a doctor's appointment scheduled on Wednesday. Well, on what I thought was Wednesday and was actually Thursday. I was getting ready when my mom asked what I was doing. I told her I had an appointment and she said, "No, you had one yesterday." I told her, "No, it's today. I've had it scheduled for over 6 months." She again says no and that I already went yesterday. I thought she was messing with me, so I turned on my phone and went to show her the date, but it was in fact Thursday. I have no recollection of Wednesday. I don't remember going to the appointment, going grocery shopping afterwards. I don't remember anything. To me, it was like I went to sleep Tuesday night and woke up Thursday morning. But apparently, Wednesday did in fact happen, yet I have no memory of it, and it's messing with me severely. I feel off and dumbfounded. I even checked my health portal, and lo and behold, my after-visit summary was there, along with the notes from the doctor. I also checked my bank app, and there was in fact a purchase made at the grocery store I apparently went to after. I feel like I'm going insane. My brain just skipped this entire day. This happened back in the early 2010s with my brother, where we seemingly skipped a random Wednesday, which makes this even more confusing. It isn't a single occurrence. Case notes for file 784. I skipped an entire day. So at first, I thought this could be a medical issue. There are conditions that can wipe out your memory for a single day. Could even be drug related. Maybe someone swiped you at the doctor's office. Maybe the purchase made at the grocery store wasn't yours. However, after you mentioned that this happened before to you and your brother, well, that makes it less likely to be a medical issue, unless it's some sort of genetic factor. It's also very interesting that it happened on a Wednesday again. Is there some relevance to Wednesday specifically that would cause this? And of course, it does appear that it's just memory loss. You still go about your day normally. You weren't abducted by aliens or anything like that. You also weren't in some sort of space-time warped zone. You just were going about your day, and your brother in that one time. If it's not a medical issue, that would disturb me greatly. Both of your brains just didn't register into long-term memory a single day, and specifically on a Wednesday. Bonus file, written by TheOttter. I bargained with a Daemon. I, 26 male, live with my wife, 25 female, in a smaller apartment near the Appalachian region. We kinda set out on the outskirts of our city, so we're still close to civilization, like 5 to 10 minutes away. I've always suffered from night terrors and intense nightmares all of my life. In instances of this, I've been told I talk, scream, sit up rapidly, and even stand, but not sleepwalking as I've been told. Once we moved into our current apartment, the terrors increased, and then I began to experience sleep paralysis, I assume. In those moments, a lady would appear. The more I got them, the closer she would get to me. Eventually, she got to my bedside and in some cases even sat near me and watched. In early cases of it, I would even witness her stumble out of my closet from a scuttle hole that leads to the attic. The hole is locked and only the landlord or maintenance can open it. The lady has a unique appearance because she doesn't have features or an appearance, like from a horror movie or even a game I've seen. She is tall at around 7 foot, above 200 centimeters, with long limbs as well. She is very skinny in a yellow dress with a pattern I can't make out. She has about shoulder length black-brown hair. But the one major feature is she has a very large vertically turned single eye with a golden iris that takes up the place for features on the face. After they got too intense for me, I spoke with a close friend who is currently in school for psychology and to become a therapist like his father. He did a paper on my experience and found that there were a few other people with a similar experience like me that live states and even countries away. After that point of trying to look into it, I became worried. I know I have created a tulpa, which is a being that begins as a figment of one's imagination but progresses into physical manifestation. Because the experience started happening more and events began outside of sleep. I started seeing shapes in dark rooms, hearing talking or noise in rooms no one was in, and things being moved frequently, and doors just randomly opening. Once all that started happening, my wife began looking into banishments and cleansed the apartment more frequently. Things got quiet after that, and began to study as well from her and others around her to help things get cleansed. For almost a year now, things were good. No terrors, paralysis, or high strangeness in our home. Until last week, my wife had an instance of OCD because the remote that adjusts our bed was missing off my nightstand. We don't have too much in our bedroom, so it couldn't have gotten far. After 2 hours of searching with no luck and helping her calm down, we finally just went into bed without it. Shortly after, I started to experience a moment of paralysis again, but it felt different. I felt like I was no longer in my room, and the lady from before at my side again was also different. She gave off a much more powerful energy, but also I felt desperation, but calmness from her as well. So the instances were not terrifying. She spoke to me and I couldn't fully understand, but I had a feeling she was wanting to bargain. She offered something lost for some life. Unsure of what this meant, I agreed because I was confused on what truly was happening. Once I did, though, she began to climb over and sit in my lap. In a polite way of saying, we had relations at that moment, but I still felt partially bound, so I could not fight back. Once it was over, things faded to black. Once I woke up, I had the remote in my head. I was holding it with such a death grip my fingers hurt just to let go. I was fully uncovered as well as having some residue on myself and intense lower body pain. I explained to my wife the terror of the night and she is unsure of what to make of this. The lady also returned the night before with another bargain, but I think I asked for more time. Since then, I still feel her presence by my side of the bed, and I think she's waiting for an answer. I'm waiting to know if anyone has any insight of what this might be, or if it's safe to continue the bargains. Case notes for the bonus file. I bargained with a Daemon. There's a lot going on in this story. The first is actually a disappearing object phenomena, with the remote, and other objects too that you describe, but this entity was able to steal it, effectively shifting it out of your dimensional realm, hiding it away, making a deal to return it. One that I don't think I would have taken. Life for the return of a remote? Not a good deal. But this deal is unlike anything I've read on the channel before. It's almost like a crossroads demon. Of course, your soul wasn't exactly on offer. Maybe that's what it was meant by life? I don't know. How could this entity take your soul? Or, another idea is maybe your wife was pregnant, and unbeknownst to both of you, this entity sucked the life out of that unborn child, early stages. In fact, maybe this happens more often than we know, and could be responsible for a lot of the miscarriages that go reported. One other thing that interests me greatly is who sets the rules for what these entities are able to do? As you describe it, cleansing worked, but why specific objects or herbs or whatever it was that you used to cleanse it, why do those work and only for a certain amount of time? Who sets those rules? God or the simulation developers?